Good morning, everyone. I am your host, Olivia Cohen, coming in live from the Dörfner Judaica Museum here at the Hebrew Home. And this is Good Morning Hebrew Home. Today is Thursday, February 11th. I feel like time is flying. February is always a shorter month. And the time is 10:30 a.m. A little later, our positive news story, we will have our Black History Month feature. But first, I thought we could talk a little bit about who created Black History Month. So the man behind the holiday, Carter G. Woodson, considered a pioneer in the study of African American history, is given much of the credit for Black History Month. He was the son of former slaves. Woodson spent his childhood working in coal mines and quarries. He received his education during the 4-month term that was customary for black schools at the time. At 19, having taught himself English, fundamentals, and arithmetic, Woodson entered high school, where he completed a 4-year curriculum in 2 years. He went on to earn his master's degree in history from the University of Chicago and later a doctorate from Harvard. Disturbed that history books largely ignored America's black population, Woodson took on the challenge of writing black Americans into the nation's history. Woodson chose the second week of February for his celebration because it marks the birthdays of 2 men who greatly influenced the black American population. One was Frederick Douglass, who escaped slavery and became an abolitionist and civil rights leader. And though his birth date isn't known, he celebrated it on February 14th. And the other is President Abraham Lincoln, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which abolished slavery in America's Confederate States. And he was born on February 12th, and I believe Monday is President's Day. So that is why February is Black History Month. So we have a great show planned for you today. But first, let's get into the weather. I don't know if some of you guys... I don't know what it was like here, but me coming from Queens, there was a little bit of snow in my car this morning. So that was a surprise. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of snow in a couple of our winters, so it's nice to see snow in wintertime, like we're supposed to see. Let's take a look at the weather in our neck of the woods here in the Bronx. Today will be mostly cloudy, high 36 degrees. Let's move to this day in history, February 11th, 1963. The Beatles record their first album, Please Please Me, at the Abbey Road Studios, which is released on March 22nd, which helped to create the phenomenon known as Beatlemania. Each one of the Beatles received £7 and 10 shillings, a session fee for each 3-hour session, making a total of £30 as full payment for the recording session of 9 hours and 45 minutes. So that happened today. Also, moving forward in time, 1975, the British Conservative Party has chosen its first woman leader, Margaret Thatcher, and will be the first woman to head any British political party. So that happened. Then in 2006, speaking of snow, what has become known as the blizzard of 2006 started on the evening of the 11th. Heavy snow fell across the northeastern United States from Virginia to Maine through to the evening of the 12th. Its last falls were in eastern Canada on the 13th. Cities from Baltimore to Boston received at least a foot of snow, and 26.9 inches was recorded in New York City. This was the heaviest snow recorded since about 1869, when the records began. So that was crazy. I can't say I remember that, but I think I was probably having a good time in the snow and not actually shoveling it, so maybe my parents remember it more than I do. 2013, the Pentagon has announced that the U.S. military would extend some of the same family benefits to heterosexual couples to same-sex couples. So that happened all today in this day in history. Moving over to our national days, we had a bunch for today. I've never heard of these before. One I went into a little bit more depth because I was interested by it. So it's National Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day. Always a good rule of thumb, don't cry over spilled milk, but especially today. It's also National Inventors Day, so celebrating anyone who invents something. It's National Make a Friend Day, so if you haven't made any new friends, maybe today's the day to look around and say hi to somebody maybe you haven't said hi to before. But socially distance, of course. It's also a National Peppermint Patty Day. And I have to say, Anthony, do you like peppermint patties? No. I have to say I do not like chocolate and mint together. I have a very strong opinion about that. I think they should be kept separate. I don't like mint chocolate chip ice cream. I don't like the two together. So this is a holiday that I'm gonna, leave for other people to celebrate. And then it's also a National White Shirt Day. So National White Shirt Day, also known as National White T-Shirt Day, commemorates the day a historic auto workers' strike resolved on February 11th in 1937. Manufacturing provided a large part of our workforce in the early part of the 20th century. When the 1929 stock market crash triggered the Great Depression, auto manufacturers laid off workers and cut costs. GM did as well, eliminating their more expensive models. They stripped down their remaining models and sped up production to grueling pace. As they hired workers back, they did so at a lower pay and didn't continue seniority. In 1935, the Wagner Act allowed workers to organize and join labor unions legally. By 1936, conditions reached a dangerous and fierce pace. Workers had organized before, standing in picket lines that put not only their jobs at risk, but their lives too. Sit-ins, though, created an opportunity to shut down the plant entirely without any replacement workers crossing picket lines. And then on December 30th, 1936, GM workers took up residence in the Flint, Michigan body plant number 1 after a plan to walk out was derailed. And their sit-in lasted 44 days and brought production to a halt and impacted not just GM, but the entire auto industry. The strike helped the United Auto Workers, UAW, union become the sole bargaining agent for General Motors auto workers. The observance is best known in Flint, Michigan, and other cities that have GM auto plants. So that is what's meant by National White Shirt Day. Told you I went in a little bit more in depth. I wanted to know more. And then it's also National Giving Hearts Day, which I also looked up to see what that was. And it's the second Thursday of every February, every year. And it's just to donate to your favorite charity. So I know a lot of people at this time, are cleaning up and finding things to donate to charities, whether it's gently used items, or monetary, giving money to charities. Today's the day to do that. So let's move over to our resident birthdays. We do not have any resident birthdays today. We have one staff birthday for today, which is Josephine from Nursing Administration. So happy birthday. And our famous birthday for today is Burt Reynolds. Burt Leon Reynolds was born February 11th, 1936 in Michigan. He was an American actor who has been in the entertainment business for 4 decades and has been in more than 90 movies, including The Dukes of Hazzard, The Longest Yard, Boogie Nights, and Smokey and the Bandit. Acting was actually his second choice of career, which was forced on him when he tore his cartilage in his knee early in his college football career as an all-star halfback. Following the end of his career, he won Florida State Drama Award, which included a scholarship to the Hyde Park Playhouse, which started him on his way in acting. So just a little tidbit of information about Burt Reynolds, and happy birthday to all. Let's move to our menus for today. Let's see what food services has cooking up for us. So lunch, the entree will be hot dog on a roll, baked beans, sauerkraut, and pineapples for dessert. Dinner, the soup will be tomato couscous. Entree will be fish and chips with coleslaw, and dessert will be coffee ice cream. So that sounds really good, everybody. Enjoy your meals for today. Let's move into our positive news story, our feature for Black History Month, coming by way of youthforhumanrights.org. So last week, I mentioned that it was Rosa Parks' birthday, so I thought we would talk a little bit about Rosa Parks today. Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks was born on February 4th, 1913. She's an American civil rights activist, and she was appropriately named by the United States Senate the Mother of Freedom, Mother of the Freedom Movement, and the First Lady of Civil Rights. The events that filled her life have made her a lasting icon of human rights. She says, "I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear." So Rosa Parks' legacy began in Montgomery, Alabama on December 1st in 1955 when she refused to obey the demands of a city bus driver, James F. Blake, that she give up her seat in the colored section of the bus to a white passenger due to the scarcity of seats. She says, when that white driver stepped back towards us, when he waved his hand and ordered us up and out of our seats, I felt a determination cover my body like a quilt on a winter night. He asked me why I didn't stand up. I told him I didn't think I should have to stand up. So I asked him, "Why do you push us around?" And he told me, "I don't know, but the law is the law and you are under arrest." Rosa Parks was charged with violating the Montgomery City Code. However, she had not actually disobeyed any law. She had been seated in the assigned black section of the bus when asked to give up her seat. And on December 4th, 1955, a front-page story in the Montgomery Advisor and announcements at local black churches encouraging people to band together for desegregation catapulted the Montgomery bus boycott into what would be one of the most successful movements for desegregation, marking Parks as a symbol of the American civil rights movements and changing the lives of many world over. She said, "I only knew that as I was being arrested, that it was the very last time that I would ever ride in humiliation of this kind," Parks said. She worked in collaboration with many other prominent figures of her time, including Martin Luther King Jr. and Edgar Nixon, president of the local chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. In 1965, after the boycott had ended, Parks was hired as the secretary of John Conyers, an African-American representative. She was employed by Conyers for 23 years until her retirement. And like many before him, Conyers was touched by Parks and described her as someone you treated with deference because she was quiet, so serene, just a very special person. Parks was selected as one of the people to meet Nelson Mandela upon his release from prison in 1994. She was honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Bill Clinton in 1996 and the Congressional Gold Medal in 1997, the highest congressional award. She passed away on October 24th, 2005, at the age of 92. Rosa Parks made a vast and intangible impact on the course of Black history and human rights. She touched many nations, races, and creeds, and undoubtedly her legacy will affect many generations to come. A quote of Rosa Parks is, "Memories of our lives, of our works, and our deeds will continue in others." It's Rosa Parks. So, as always, everybody, feel free to give us a call. Any good news that you've heard and would like to share on the show, you can do so by calling 2813. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave us a comment down below, hit that like button, or hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Remember, for those of you here at the home, remember to tune in to Channel 8 later today. We have Wellness with Deborah at 1:30, On a Musical Note with Peter at 2:30, and our streaming channel for today, on Channel 88 that is, we have 4 o'clock, DeRope Presents Music Appreciation. Then at 6:30, this episode of Good Morning Hebrew Home will be replayed. And tonight's movie at 7 o'clock on Channel 88 will be Love and Basketball. So, Love and Basketball. Monica and Quincy are two childhood friends who both aspired to be professional basketball players. Quincy, whose father plays for the Los Angeles Clippers, is a natural talent and a born leader. Monica is ferociously competitive but sometimes becomes overly emotional on the court. Over the years, the two begin to fall for each other, but their separate paths to basketball stardom threaten to pull them apart. So that's the movie for tonight, Love and Basketball. It's got it all. If you love sports, it's got romance. Literally, why the title is Love and Basketball. So there's something for everyone. So remember to tune in on Channel 88 today at 7 o'clock. Thank you for joining us today. Once again, this has been Olivia Cohen with Good Morning Hebrew Home. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel. Cohen out.